y'all, and welcome back to another episode of Catch That, where we dig into R&B albums, artists, and eras, and just really break stuff down with folk that know what they're talking about.
Okay.
I am Naturally Elise, that's my brother,
JR.
and we are the R&B representatives. And today we are welcoming back a very good friend of the show, very dope brother by the name of Grap Luva. How are you?
How y'all doing? How you doing? Everybody good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are here representing a hip hop guy, music guy, representing for one of the genres that I love, R&B. You know what I mean? So my ears go from go everywhere. Jazz, funk, country, roots rock, reggae. You know what I mean? Yeah, to of course R&B, and of course hip hop, you know what I mean, but everywhere, you know what I mean, classical, you know what I mean, wherever,
That's my bag, classical. I love classical.
Yeah, you can catch a groove in almost any genre of music.
That's right.
Right. You know what I mean, so yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So salute, catch that family, and salute to the R&B representatives as always. I'm here.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Well, JR, how about you tell us what album we're going to be talking about today? And then I want Grap, after you tell them, to tell why you chose to talk about this album and what it means to you. And then
So to keep it short and sweet, y'all know Grap has been on the show. We talked about Loose Ends Zagora the last time he was on. But this time we are talking about Loose Ends Look How Long. And I'm going to let Grap explain why he picked this album. So it's on you.
All right. Peace, everybody. First off, I definitely want to say peace and love to Fela Kuti, and shout out to Big Bro Pete Rock all day. Now, why I picked this album is because I am a long time fan of Loose Ends, and it just, to me, it just showed the further progression of their sound, and how they adapted to the changing times within R&B music that was going on at the time, because hip hop was very much permeating into R&B, and R&B was, they were overlapping each other at one point. You know what I mean? So he meaning Carl McIntosh, the main producer of this album, showed how that overlapping existed in that time, but he did it in a very successful and funky way. You know what I mean? So that's why I picked this album.
Okay.
My guy, one of my favorite producers, and I just love Loose Ends. And this is after the breakup. This is post Jane Eugene, post Steve Nickel. So, but still shouts to Jane Eugene and Steve Nickel always, you know what I mean? And the secret member of the Loose Ends camp, Nick Martinelli.
Yes. I understand.
So, that's what that's about. But this album is post all of those people. So you have some new singers come in, and he did a lot of production himself.
Yeah. So when you was talking about the breakup and all that. So when you heard "Don't Be a Fool," because that was the single, right? So when you heard that for the first time, like, did it kind of make you go, huh? Or did it go like, okay, all right, I can rock with it? Because did you know about the breakup before the song, or you already like knew what was popping with them before you heard the song?
I think I had known that the situation was no longer the same. I think I was aware of that, but I didn't know what it was going to sound like when it came again. When I heard that they're coming again,
right,
the album, and then when I heard "Don't Be a Fool," I was like, it's cool. It's cool. It's not Jane. It's not that OG sound, but it's cool. You know what I mean? It's cool. But then it was another song on there that I heard that I was like, yeah, this is that vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, Don't You Ever. It's called "Don't You Ever," but it's called "Don't You Ever Try to Change Me." Basically,
that's God.
That's my that's my cut right there.
When I heard that jam, that was like it for me. Like, I couldn't get past it for a while. Like I just kept playing that one song over and over and over and over. And then I went through the rest of the album, and you got Love's Got Me, Try My Love, Time Is Ticking, Look How Long was cool, Love Keep Talk, Loved I Don't Need the Love, Hold Tight was really dope, and I loved
Love Controversy.
Part 1. Oh my God. Yeah. And then I found part 2 with the male. It's a male part and a female part. So part 1 is the female's part. Part 2 is the male's part. So there's a male part to it as well.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Love Controversy Part 2.
Oh, wow.
A male singing it. Yeah, I forget the brother's name. He had worked with him. He did a song with him. Cobb did a song with him on the New Jack Swing soundtrack. I mean, the New Jack City soundtrack. Excuse me, New Jack City.
Okay.
I forget the brother's name. Danny, I think. Danny something. I forget his name. But he did. I think he did a song with him and it was on the New Jack City soundtrack.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm trying to think. Is Danny on? You talking about Facts of Life?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that it?
Danny Madden.
That's it. Okay. Madden. That is it. Okay.
With Danny Madden singing it.
Wow. Oh, is it that on YouTube?
It might be. I'm not sure.
Oh, no, I need to catch that.
Controversy Part 2 with Danny Madden.
Oh,
singing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I heard Don't Be a Fool, at first it was like, like, okay, I'm not hearing Gene, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, that OG joint. But again, this is the time where, Grab, you will understand, this is when Kiss would play, I will never forget, around the time that Don't Be a Fool came out, they would always play Family Stand, Ghetto Heaven, and they will always play Soul to Soul, Keep It Moving. So it always, anytime I heard Don't Be a Fool, I would hear that. So it was like, oh, wait a minute. So Gene ain't there no more. And I remember my mom liking this record because it was that inspirational type of song. But my mom was just like, wait a minute. Gene's not there anymore.
Jane.
I said Gene, right? Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. Jane. But Jane. So I'm like, she's not there anymore? And I'm looking at her, and she was like, I didn't even know if they broke up or not. And I was like, oh, really? And she was like, and then come to find out, the guy on the radio, I don't know who it was. I don't think it was, who the heck was it? It could have been Red Alert, but I don't think it was him. And he was like, you know, the group is not together no more. Carl is doing everything, and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay. So anytime I hear this song, Don't Be a Fool, I got to hear, you know, Ghetto Heaven and Keep On Moving, because it kind of fits, you know what I'm saying? So anytime I hear, but I'm like you, Grap, when I heard it, I was like, yeah, it's cool. You know what I mean? But once you hear this album, thanks to my uncle, because he loves loose ends, and he got it, it was like, oh, these other joints is like, whoo, like, Don't Be a Fool getting you started. But when you go into this, you like, all right, we in there.
Just randomly, you was talking about the Family Stand, and I have that 12
Ghetto Heaven.
Family Stand, Ghetto Heaven, yeah.
That's what it is.
You just do this, right? Every episode she does this.
It was dope about it because there's a Soul to Soul remix of Ghetto Heaven on here as well.
Oh, word?
A couple Soul to Soul remix.
So the ladies that are singing on this album are Linda Carrier, Sune Suleiman, and Chris. I think her name is Christine Levin.
Tasha
Levi, or Lewi, something like that. But yeah, those are the voices on it. But yeah, like really the song that always brings me back to this album is Don't You Ever Try to Change. You know what I mean? Like there's a part in the end, it's like a little empty 8 bars. I've always did a freestyle rapping that was a part of the record. Like I was rocking with Jody Watley. Word up.
I mean, the song was out around that time, so it makes sense.
And I would start with the same bars. It would go, don't you act so strangely. You don't you wait, what did he say? Oh no, don't you try to change me. You act so strangely. Sometimes you rearrange me, something like that. And then I would just freestyle from there. But I will always rhyme in that little space. Whenever I listen to that song. Like I absolutely love that song. Absolutely. And I do my fake Rakim imitation or whatever. Trying to be like him, like how he was with Jody Watley on Friends.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That bass line that Carl uses for what was it? The Barry White joint.
Yeah, the drums. Those were the drums he used.
It was the drums. Okay, yeah. It wasn't the bass. It was the drums. Okay, yeah, it was the drums.
That bass line with the keyboard.
Yes.
Them chords, like yeah. Absolutely love that song.
Like
listened to it up, down, studied it, like listened to different changes in there, all of that. Like, absolutely love that song. And then the not to cut you off.
No, go ahead. No.
Another song. What's the song? Don't try my love.
Yes.
That has a sample from a Marley Marl record that has Heav's voice in it.
We're talking about Rebel.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It has it's a tragedy record that Marley did, but in the record he was cutting up Heav's voice. Feels good. So in the thing you could hear it. It's like
you brought that part up.
Feels feels yeah. So so Heav's voice is in that record.
You know what?
And then watch this twist.
What?
Me and Hev was together one time, and he wanted to sample Love Controversy Part 1.
Really?
Yes, he wanted to sample this one part. Like he kept bringing it back. I remember we was in the studio together. He kept bringing it back. Yo, I want to use this, man. I want to use it. He kept bringing it back. And I was getting mad because I wanted the song to play. And that's what Hev would obsess over a sound, like over a sound or over a sample, over a loop or something. He would obsess over a song. You know what I mean? And I think I picked that up from him as well. Because I would obsess over songs. Like my wife would tell you, I'm like, oh, I'm about to hear this song 50 times. Like, yeah, yo. I gotta study it. I gotta analyze it. You know what I mean? So yeah, he would do that. He would obsess over a song, you know what I mean? And he obsessed over this one particular part. He kept saying, we shall try to work it out. Let's do things right. Yeah, and he just wanted to loot. We shall.
No.
Over, I was like, yo, dude, I get it. Oh, yo, I love this joint. I love this part right here. Yo. He just kept playing. I was like, yeah, I get it. You know, I get it. Yeah. All right. You know what I mean? So, yeah, so it's just ill how the connection works. You know what I mean? And Pete ends up working with them. You know what I mean? On Take Your Time. I swear I believe that was at the behest of my suggestion for him to work.
Of course. You brought that up too, because about that feels good part. You brought that up because when Hev did his last performance at the BET Awards, and he was doing Feels Good when he brought that part in. Tell me why I was thinking about Try My Love. That's what I thought about when that part came in. Because Hev was about to Dougie with it. And I was like, oh my, like he about to kill this joint. And when that part, and I was thinking about Try My Love at that part. So when you brought that up, I was like, yeah, yo, like when Hev did that, I was like, yo, because that's one of my favorite joints on that album, to be honest with you, because it kind of reminds me of, me and my late pop. Like he would play a record like that and we just riding down Atlantic Avenue. And this is like in the 90s. So it's just me and him, and I could see him vibing. So I love when my dad rocked to R&B anyway, but it had that little hip hop edge to it. Cause like you said in the beginning, this is when hip hop and R&B was really starting to connect for real. So he was not that R&B guy at all. Thank God he got with my mom because then he understood it. But before then, he didn't rock with it. So to see him rocking to a joint like Try My Love, and I'm like, wait a minute, Dad, word? Like I'm looking at him and he like rocking to this joint, you know what I'm saying? But then he was a fan of Hev, and that's why I knew that part when he was like, you know that's Hev, right? And I'm looking at him like, oh, you want to teach me history now? You never did before. But I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, normally that's Mom. And now you sitting here like, you know that's Heavy D, right? And I'm looking at him like, oh, I'm about to get a lesson. Okay, tell me. And he was like, yeah, that's Hev and all that. So for you to say that, that song actually makes me think about him and have good memories of him. That's why Try My Love is one of my favorites from him, for real.
No doubt. That record was like I said, it was a tragedy record that Marley produced, you know, for Tragedy. And in that record, he was scratching Hev's voice in that record. So that's how you hear that feels like that in that record.
That's why it threw me. My dad, I'm like, Dad, you caught that little piece? Oh, all right.
And then that goes to speak to how how successfully he melded hip hop and even the art, I call it an art, the art of sampling. How he melded that with chords and vocals and, you know, the prettiness of R&B, like the grittiness of hip hop. You know what I mean? He brought those two together perfectly on this album. You know what I mean? Don't Be a Fool has a sample in it, has the Shaft sample in it.
Yep. Yes.
Don't You Ever Try to Change Me has the Barry White drums. Love's Got Me has I think those are
that's Hot Pants by James Brown.
Yes, and then Try My Love, that, you know, that's the Tragedy record, the Hev sample. Got the Barry White drums on it.
Yep.
I'm not sure about Look How Long. And Cheap Talk, I don't think it has anything in it. But the one that really stood out for me too, another one, was I Don't Need to Love. How he flipped that guy sample.
Yes.
I was like, wow, yo. He just all the way around that joint, yo. Like,
yo.
Funky. I was like, yo, let's groove me. Like he just built all the way around that joint, yo. Vocally, you know, musically.
Yeah.
You know, he just used the drums. He just used the drums, and that's those sounds, like, you know what I mean? It wasn't no bass in that part of the record, like with that part of Groove Me. It was just the drums and the funky, you know what I mean? And then he just built around it. That was so dope, yo.
So,
you know I mean?
And one thing, and as you mentioned, of how the R&B and the hip hop melded, but on this album, not only did you have that, the jazz on this album.
Oh yeah.
It's so interwoven and it's seamless. Like it seemed like it wouldn't work, but it all works together. It's like a great harmony, you know.
Like joints like with Hold Tight.
Yeah.
Like that joint. You know what I'm saying? And I love, shout out to Byron on that damn trumpet. He played his that little solo he did. Woo!
Got a muted trumpet, man.
Oh my God, man.
Love a muted trumpet, man.
Yes.
And
then he was down with Shaka and George Benson. So he was down with them. You know what I mean? So for him to come in there, that's why I love how you said like Nick was kind of out the picture and Carl had to kind of do everything on his own. And he did the damn good job with it. You know what I'm saying? Because their sound was from Nick, even though they wrote a lot of songs and, you know, they did a lot of that. But now it's him and he bringing other people in. And I think he did an amazing job with it, because it could have went left.
To cut you off, but he also started displaying those skills during the Real Chucky Boo production.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
Those bass lines that he was creating, man. when I go back to that album, the one song that sticks out, the two songs that stick out for me is the bonus track, Too Much, and What Goes Around. That bass line on that record was amazing. Like, ooh, the song itself was a super funky, like it's the funkiest song on the album. What Goes Around. And then Too Much is just like, I just love the way that laid out. You know, the R&B-ness of that record was really dope. But yeah, he kind of went into the fold of hip hop. Was like, all right, this is how these guys, your Pete Rocks, your Diamond D, your Premiers, and these guys, this is how they single-handedly create this music. I have that. I can work. I know how to work that, and I know how to play chords. I know how to play keys. I know how to arrange vocals. You know what I mean? So he had the extra package too, along with that. And then, he taking cues, of course, from like brothers like Teddy Riley, who came through and incorporated hip hop and R&B and melded it into something new called New Jack Swing, which was amazing. You know what I mean? I'm sure he took cues from those guys, your Marley Marls, all of those guys. You know what I mean? And say, this is what I can bring to it. And came to, and put it together like lovely, man, lovely.
I love how he did. I always love when people give you something familiar on an album too, and I love it. Kind of like Cheap Talk. It kind of gives me a little flavor of Hanging on a String to me, like how it starts. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Because this was a song that my uncle really played because he loved Hanging on a String. Like that's just his favorite loose ends joint. You ain't listen, if he's starting with a damn playlist or whatever, he's starting with loose ends Hanging on a String. So when this song, that's why when we did the episode with you before, I kind of forgot about the album. Then when I was listening to it and I got the Cheap Talk, I said, oh God, my Uncle Bernard used to play the hell out of this song because it gave him the Hanging on the String type of vibe. And I love that when people do that. So it's like, even though you know that the other members are not there, you're still getting that familiar vibe from it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is what we loved you for. Yeah, there's new members in there, but you still giving us that joint. And I mean, Cheap Talk to me is like a dance to the bar type of joint. I'm always talking about drinking something, but hey,
you're not working out on that joint, but you're not light stepping either.
You know what I'm saying? Like you
sway, you're giving
and it's just it's ill. Like that's why I think I get why. Because at first I would always tell my uncle, I'd be like, well, why don't you like a little spice better than, after that? And he was like, nah, he was just like, it's something about this album here that it's funky. It's, you know what I'm saying? He said it's not dated. Like you can listen to it now and it still knocks. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, he was like, whoever the producer is, because my uncle don't read no line of notes. He don't know who is who. He don't know nothing. He just know music. That's it. Right? Don't ask him who sung it. Don't ask him who produced it. He don't care. But he was like, it's something about this album that just gave him, because he was like, I know, he do know, everybody know Jane. Everybody know her. Like, that's who, you know what I'm saying? He was like, she would have murked some of these joints if she'd have been there. Like, Don't Be a Fool, she would have murked that joint for real if it would have been her. Don't get me wrong, Linda did what she was supposed to do, but Jane would have just ate the hell out of that joint. But like he said, again, this album for him was just like, yo, he did what he could do. You know what I'm saying? Because he could have turned you away, to be honest. Because you ain't got the members, you ain't got nobody, you ain't got your producer, you ain't got none of that. And it could have been, nah, I ain't feeling this, but this album dope to me.
He did really great at curating the voices he did put on there, because it's still, though it wasn't Jane, it was different, it still gave you the feel, the soul of that group. It doesn't sound like an outlier album. It sounds like it goes with all of that.
With it, yes.
It fits perfectly together.
Yes,
I agree.
I would totally agree and say that as well. That standout vocal performance for me is Love Controversy Part 1. Just how she was stayed in that high register and it was so sweet and soothing. Itself was so soothing. It could literally entrance you, you know, that song. You know, it could.
That's the song I run back. That's one of my favorites on the album.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's a very entrancing song. So for me, songs that I didn't cling to, the only two on this album was Don't Be a Fool and Look How Long. I didn't really, I mean, I can listen to them, but those aren't ones I'm like going back for.
Yeah, you know me neither.
I could let them ride through, and I'm not they don't gotta come back. You know what I mean? Keep going. We could do our little loop-de-loop on Don't You Ever Try to Change Me, on Time Is Ticking.
That's my favorite record.
Cheap Song, I Don't Need the Love, Hold Tight, Love Controversy Part 1 definitely gets the loop-de-loop, and Symptoms of Love. And then another thing I noticed is that he stayed away from ballads and slow jams. He didn't really do. He did one, Symptoms of Love, and it was very short.
It was short. It was. I mean, it might as well have been an interlude. It was so short.
Yeah, you can hear the Marvin Gaye influence. You know, Marvin Gaye and Leon Ware, where he at one point he was hanging with them. Marvin Gaye. Yeah. Well, Leon, I know Leon. I don't know about Marvin, if he was able to get with Marvin before Marvin passed.
Right.
Marvin passed in '84, but I know he was hanging with Leon Ware.
And, you can feel like that's
vocally influenced by Marvin. You know what I mean?
That Symptoms of Love definitely give you like a I Want You type of vibe. Like for real. Like when you hear that, you like, oh yeah, that could fit on there. That's why I wanted to ask you, because I didn't know if he was influenced by Leon and Marvin like that. Yeah. So you just cleared that up for me, because I didn't know he was hanging with him. Wow.
Yeah. Him and Leon Ware was cool. They knew each other. I think they had worked together once or twice or whatever. But he has a song right now that I don't know. I think it's about a year or two old, called Forevermore, and he has a reprise of it as well. Yeah, he did Gonna Make You Mine over recently.
For real?
Yes, he has it out there. Gonna Make You Mine.
Oh.
Gonna make you mine. He's like singing it real like mellow. It's like he's not blowing it like how Jane blew it. It's like some acoustic guitar, boom, 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 and it's like this real laid back beat, and it's like you got background singing and all of that going on, like this Marvin. Then he got this other song where he's it's called Forevermore. Forevermore. Oh girl, some shit, something. Oh girl, and he's talking about something.
And he put
Forevermore, oh girl, and it's called Forevermore. And he got like two joints. It's like I think that's the B side to the Gonna Make You Mine joint that he did.
I just found it, yo. I'm about to, I just found it. Oh yeah, I'm on it. I know that. Oh, that. Because you said it's a reprise, and that's
So the reason why I pulled this one out, this is the 12-inch for Love's Got Me from this album. From this album. However, this 12-inch has a B-side on it. It's released on 10 records. It's not released on MCA. It's their sister label, I think, that's in London, called 10 Records. And the B-side is called Feel the Vibe. It's an instrumental. And it's one of the most incredible instrumentals I've ever. It's like, talking about entrancing music. This song is very entrancing, like very entrancing. Like if you had it on repeat for about I guarantee you 5 minutes, you'll go into some type of sleep or some type of like Zen moment, like where you would just zen out, yo. I'm telling you, yo, this joint is so smooth, so chill. It gives you a nighttime energy, like the starry night type energy.
Yeah.
It's really laid back, laid back. He used the drums from the song God Made Me Funky.
Yep, from the Pointer Sisters. Yep.
Yeah, he used that. He used those drums. I think God Made Me Funky is I don't think it's the Pointer Sisters though.
It's not.
I don't think
not the Headhunters and Pointer Sisters.
I think it's the Headhunters.
There it is. Yeah, it is. It's their song, and they just on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
God Made Me Funky. Yes, it's the Headhunters. That's what it is.
Yeah.
He used those drums on it, and he got a nice little bass line, boom, 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 boom. Boom. Then he got the guitar going, pew, pew. Yeah. Oh my God! They got these keys going like this, these chords like. It's like do 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 do, pew, pew, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Oh my God, it's so laid out. I'm gonna have to play it for y'all just so y'all can hear.
You know what it is too, Grap? I remember because we was on Apartment 5B one time, and I think you told me to listen to this joint.
Yes.
Because I think I had brought up Summer Madness by Kool and the Gang.
Yes. Yeah, it's on the
and you told
I think it's directly influenced by Summer Madness. When you listen to it, it reminds you a whole lot of Summer Madness.
And that takes you into like a trance, yo. Like it does. And that's why I was like, because I never knew about this song until you told me, because I didn't know. I'm like, feel the vibe.
Yeah, feel the vibe.
Like, what album is this on?
That joint, it's insane, yo. Trust me when I tell you.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, it is. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. B-sides. Woo.
Yeah, it's a B-side.
Yeah. Because I was gonna ask you, since you talk about Love's Got Me, does that give you like slow down vibes?
What's that?
Love's Got Me.
No. It's a little more up tempo than Slow Down.
Okay.
Yeah, and Slow Down is like one of my least favorite loose end songs.
I think you said that on the episode before.
Yeah. You definitely said that.
You did. Okay.
Me and Jay, was higher. But you explained it made sense.
Yeah. Okay, so you did explain on the episode. Oh God.
But you know, it's
on your radio. Let the vibes. Can y'all hear it? Get on your radio. Let the vibes. Yeah, it's so laid back and I don't know if you can hear it.
Yeah, we can hear it. Oh yeah, we can hear it. That's why I think when you listening to this album, I think you can hear, like, you can drink a glass of wine and just vibe out to this album. That's the vibe that you get.
I mean, it gives me a little Spice albums vibe. That song, it's just like,
oh really?
Me.
Oh, okay.
It gives me a lot of the flavor of that album.
Yeah. So that record I love so much, I thought I lost it, and I bought another copy, and then I found the original copy that I thought I lost.
Oh man.
I know that life.
It's an import. It's not, it's not a US joint. This is an import 12-inch, so it's very hard to find. So I was like, man, I lost it. Oh, I lost my loose ends record. Then I went on eBay. I was like, oh, it's on there. I said, let me get it. And then I looked in this little collection of records. I think we were moving. And I was like, I went to this box and I was like, what's in this bag? I looked through the bag. Boop, this joint. I was like, shoot, I got 2 copies. Yeah, so. And this record has been sampled before. Feel the Vibe. What's the name of them sampled it? Ultramagnetic MCs sampled it for this song called Stop Jocking Me. They sampled it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they sampled it.
Okay.
They actually used the bass line, literally. They sang the hook to the bass line.
Oh,
the hook was, stop jocking me, girl. Stop jocking me, girl. You're jocking me, baby. Yeah, Ultramagnetic.
And they really jocking for real. Like,
they sampled the joint, Feel the Vibe. So
it's
cool. But it's a very rare 12-inch that the B-side to that Look How Long 12-inch.
Yeah.
And added to how much more I love the whole hour. You know what I mean? It just added right to it. Once I had heard it, I forgot where I heard it the first time I heard it, but me and my boy were just going nuts over it. Like, yo, feel the vibe. Yo, what's the name of that joint? Yo, we found out, it's Feel the Vibe, blah, blah, blah. I bet. Then I had found it on CD, on the import CD. It might have been this 12-inch on CD or something on CD, and I found it on CD. I had it on CD for a while, then I lost it, and I didn't find it. Then I went to Japan, found it in Japan, the 12-inch, bought it, brought it back all the way back here. Thought I lost it, went on eBay, bought another one. The original one I thought I lost, so now I got two.
There ain't nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Oh God. Oh God.
Nothing wrong. So.
God.
He did a very good job not being that those other elements, the original elements weren't there. But like I said, he had also been showing those skills of being able to produce whole songs prior to this album. You know what I mean? I think it was just a matter of him just, I'm just gonna do it. As a matter of fact, I think that's what he said in his Red Bull interview. He had tried to actually, holler at Jane, and I don't know about Steve, but I think he tried to holler at Jane, and Jane was on some stuff. So he just went ahead and just like, all right, I'm gone, making it happen.
And what's the point of being in a group and being around other musicians or creators and you not picking up? If you're not learning from your people you're around, why are you even there? So you naturally you're gonna pick up, learn, and through osmosis you're gonna learn stuff outside of your original skill set.
Oh yeah. For what was what is the record that he because my joint again is Time Is Ticking. That's my favorite record on the album, to be honest, because it makes me happy every time I hear it. You know what I mean? It just puts a smile on your face. You know what I mean? Like for me, when I'm listening to this record, and I went back to listen to it to kind of get ready for this, and I was just like, yo, like, to me, it's inspiring to me. Because it has these messages of inspiration in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, with Time Is Ticking and Don't Be a Fool and, those type, and Cheap Talk. Like, this is some real, like, inspirational stuff. And it's like, for me, it's like this ain't a hard drinking joint album to me. This is a wine sipping type of album to me. You know what I mean? Because it's so smooth. Right. You know what I mean? And I just mad, and I get a little upset because, like, when I go online and kind of see, like, comments about this, people be like, which that just shows you that, opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one. But, people kind of go in on like, oh, this album ain't that great. And I'm like, that's full of shit. Because I'm like, you obviously ain't listened to this joint. Because now that the original people that you love with the group ain't there no more, so you ain't even giving it no chance. Because if you did, and then I look at like a lot of videos on YouTube, and people be like, yo, this is a favorite joint from Loose End. People be like, yo, this album deserves so much more. And I'm like, yes, it does. Because I'm like, I love that Carl realized that there was this New Jack Swing, like you said, it was coming in. And he was like, yo, I got to get with the times. You do. Or you will get left behind. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but he, like Elise said also, it still felt like a Loose Ends record to me. It didn't feel anything different. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, and with production, because I mean, like you said, the album before then, Carl was getting it in. You know what I'm saying? With some of these joints, you kind of saw like, oh, all right, he may be up next, you know what I'm saying, to do the whole body of work. Then to do this and then to body it like this, that's why it just annoys me sometimes when I just see people just talking about Segura. You know what I mean? I'm like, y'all, do y'all not listen to this album? Like, are y'all not hearing this?
The real Chucky Boo, like he contributed heavily to that album. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Very heavily, you know what I mean? More so, you know, I think he did a lot of the joints, like, you know what I mean? So for people to not understand that he has a production hand, you know what I mean, is ridiculous to me. Like the 5-star stuff, you know what I mean? Like all that stuff wasn't solely Nick Martinelli, you know what I mean? A lot of that stuff, Nick was biting Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, you know what I mean? So you know, they were accused of that at one point, you know what I mean? And they got caught in the middle, loose end, because it was Nick saying, yo, make it sound like this, you know what I mean? And Nick, all right, bet, you know what I mean? So thinking that in R&B that's an honor, you know, to emulate someone's sound, but Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis didn't take it that way. They didn't dig it, you know what I mean? So they had an issue with them. I think it was the hanging on the string sound, the style of the drums or something like that. It was like similar to how Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis
would cut theirs.
But SOS.
Okay, I could see that. I could see that.
You know that, you know, them sounds they throw in their drums and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, I think they didn't really dig that. But Nick was the one saying, yo, make it sound like that.
So Carl actually started out as, because I'm learning about loose ends, because like I told y'all, my uncle loved them, but I can't ask him nothing about them. Like he just knew about the music and that's it. So
he was a guitarist. He was basically a guitarist, like a guitarist for the group, you know what I mean? Bassist and stuff. And then he started writing songs and stuff for writing music.
So he wasn't actually the production in the beginning then?
In the beginning, they were getting produced by other people. Before Nick Martinelli, it was Chris and Eddie Amu.
Okay.
These two dudes named Chris and Eddie Amu, they were from a group called The Real Thing. So the song that they have, in the Sky, you know that one? That's produced by Chris and Eddie Amu. And then Nick came along for A Little Spice. And I mean, So Where Are You? I think Nick came along and started working with them. And then I think it was Nick, Steve, and Carl that was producing that music. And then that bled into
all over,
Look How Long. I mean, bled into A Little Spice and into Segura, and then the real Chucky Boo. I don't know if Nick was still there. Yeah, Nick was, because Nick did Watching You.
Watching You, yes. Yeah.
Real Chucky Boo. So he was still there. And then after that, it dissolved. And then I think Carl took control of the name. And then, you know, I think they still had some type of deal with MCA where they had to create an album. So that's when Look How Long came about. Yeah, so it was a minute between those albums and stuff. But
could this also be like his way of also kind of responding to everybody on how the group kind of broke up a little bit? Like with the song titles with this, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, Don't Be a Fool and Time Is Ticking and Cheap Talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, because everybody now is kind of running their mouths about, you know, when you going through something, you're going to put it in your music. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like thinking maybe Carl, a lot of this stuff he was putting into this or what was going on.
They had some, they did. I want to believe that some of this may be relative to what was going on with them in real time. They had some issues with each other. Jane was having issues with her weight and her appearance. I think Carl and Steve were struggling with drug use. I think they were dealing with cocaine use and were like struggling with that. So, you know, and Don't Be a Fool, Puff the Magic Dragons got you locked into a ties and load. You know what I mean? That could be that, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? Things of that nature. Time Is Ticking could be, you know, like don't sit around and wait. You know what I mean? Like Jane would, you know, I from what I was learning, she would do shows and stuff and would want to sing on songs and stuff like that.
Wow.
Carl, I believe, said one time, I forget what song it is that's out there. She didn't want to sing it, and they got somebody else to. Oh, I think on Tomorrow, on the real Chucky Boo joint, the little 3-song joint.
Yeah.
I think on one of them parts, she's not singing. It's somebody else singing it. I think it's like the little chorus part or something. It's like somebody took the lead instead of her. I think it's one of those songs. But yeah, as recently as then, like she was doing that stuff. But as of lately, you know, I think they're all good now. I'm not. I think her and Carl are good. I don't know about Steve, but I think her and Carl are good as of lately. I don't know if they've been doing any shows together or anything, but yeah, I think they're good as of lately. As I was speaking to,
I didn't even know it was that deep. Like, wow, I didn't. Wow.
Yeah.
Because I thought they were just having like internal issues. You know what I'm saying? As far as not clicking, and that was just it. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted, because when you kind of do research on loose ends, what they'll say is Jane didn't want to go in that music direction, and Steve didn't want to go in that music direction. But I'm like, but if you listen to this album, it kind of feels like,
on top of all those other things, that's probably was relevant too. You know what I mean? The direction of the sound, they might have all wanted to go in 3 different directions. Carl might have been going towards that funk and hip hop type of thing, where Jane might have wanted to be a balladeer or do more ballads, and maybe Steve wanted to do more jazz type stuff. Who knows? You know what I mean? But I think that I could see that being a part, playing a part in that, you know what I mean, in the dissolving of that group.
And then if you do have other stuff going on, it makes that fighting even harder. You know, you're going in because you have other stressors. Like, you know, everything affects everything.
There's an in-depth interview that he did with Red Bull Music Academy that you should check out.
Okay, because I know Jimmy and Terry did one too, so I didn't know that.
A lot of that stuff. Yeah, he breaks down a lot of with him, Jane, and Steve, and stuff like that. And he talks about the whole thing with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, and the feeling of them feeling like they were being bit, you know what I mean, copied and stuff like that. So he talks about that too. Yeah. So you know, I had to check my boy out.
Oh yeah, I think of course.
And it was like I always, you know, I know I talked about it before, but it's one of the highlights of my life, being able to hang out with him in London. You know what I mean, and just kick it with him. That was just one of the highlights of my life. You know what I mean? Because like I really, really enjoy their music, and I really love the work that he does. Like I studied their music. You know what I mean? So, you know, to be able to hang out with him, and even to get the compliment I got from him about the beat tape that I made.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's dope. You know what I mean? Like that's dope. I was like, yeah, I know your ear, bro. I know your ear. You know what I mean? So yeah.
You know, I get that now with understanding with actually chilling with your favorite. I didn't get to chill with him, but when Elise did my birthday video and have Jimmy Jam shout you out and be like, I know how you love music and all that. And I'm like, I've been a fan, like studying your music for like damn near all my life. And for you to know who I am and to know, like, for him to do this, so you know,
that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Honestly, Grap, when I thought about you, when you was talking about how you met Carl and how that all went down. So as soon as I saw Jimmy, even after, you know, Elise had to see the ugly cry, because I did, I ain't gonna lie. And I did the ugly cry because I didn't even know what was gonna happen. And for him to do that, and I thought about Grap, I thought about you, because I was like, yo, the way you met Carl and how y'all that interacted. And for Jimmy to know me, and I've known this, I've been a fan of this guy since I was 3 years old. And for that to happen, I was just like, yo, Grap, I get it. Even though I ain't hang out with Jimmy, but he know me, like, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, yo, I get it. I was like, I get it. I totally
got him good, didn't I, Grap?
Yes, you did.
Oh God!
That was super dope. That was super dope. He liked our singing tweet.
Yeah, you saw he retweeted it.
He retweeted it. I was like,
and then he hit me in the DM too. He was like, y'all was singing, huh? And I just laughed because I was like, I know you ain't trying. You trying to be funny, but I was like, you trying to be funny, so I'm just gonna laugh.
He was trying to hit them notes.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that Zoom delay, we'd have been on with it.
Man, what? Man, what? We'd have all been on the same accord, y'all. What? And he was like, yeah, y'all was singing, huh? And then he laughed. I was like, oh, all right, I see where this is going. So I'm gonna laugh.
For sure.
Yeah, man. Oh, so this album is very obviously special to you. So in the category, what would you put this album as far as that? Where would you put it for as far as loose ends albums for you?
For me, it's my number one loose ends album probably has to be Zagora. It's probably right in between. Right after, because I think it would be Zagora at the top, then A Little Spice, then this album, then Look How Long.
You're doing it number 3, yeah. Okay.
I mean, and then I could just take that 4 and smack it up in the air, and wherever it lands, I'll take those top 4 too. You know what I mean? Like that. Yeah. In terms of like, it just ranks high, man.
I get it. Oh, I get it.
Because every album gives you something a little bit different, but it's all familiar. And even with, like I said before, with this album, with it just being Carl, like it still feels like a loose end record. It's still canon. It has all the right elements in it. And I love that. Because a lot of groups can't do that after a rift or whatever, and you don't necessarily, you don't know what you're gonna get. It's a it's a toss up, and this is an example where it went completely right.
Too, he definitely kept the vibe alive. You know.
Yes.
He definitely kept the loose ends vibrating. You know what I mean? Yeah. So salute to Carl McIntosh.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Choice of vocalists, his choice of production, choice of songs to put on the album. He should have put Feel the Vibe on there.
I was about to say that because it fit. It fits.
Let's Wax a Fatty. I didn't like that at all. Like that was like
that. Okay. Did you see? I didn't even bring that joint up at all. I was just like,
I ain't like. He should have switched that out and put Feel the Vibe in there.
Yeah.
Put Let's Wax a Fatty on the back of Love's Got Me.
Yes. I would have went with that because as soon as you told me about the joint, you sent it to me.
This is for the club, you know. That's a club record. Throw that on there with that, and put it on the album. That's how you really close out the album. Oh my God!
I wish I'd have asked you then because when you sent me the song "Feel the Pain," I was like, why wasn't this on the album? Like it fits. Like I was just like, why didn't he? What? I was just like, this is a B-side. I'm like, because obviously now I don't got to ask you because I do be petty sometimes, be like, what song you got to take off the album? But Grap already let us know, it's 2 songs, I'm good. But I'm good with it. But I agree with you. I think Don't Be a Fool. I think the label went with that, to be honest, because what I was saying, what was going on during the time. You had Soul to Soul out there. You had, you know what I'm saying? You had, who else was there? You See Optimistic was about to come out. You know what I'm saying? So all these inspiring type of joints, you know what I'm saying? And the Family Stand and all that, they needed that. So it fits in the playlist of the radio. So it worked, you know what I mean? But I'm like, for me, I'm like, I dig it, but I'm like, I get the single choice. For real. Like I get it.
Yeah, I could take it or leave it, that joint, and look how
y'all give it that song a whole lot. I love that song. I play that song to this day like it came out yesterday. I play it every night at the bar.
Don't Be a Fool.
I adore that song. I look. Really? I mean, I get what y'all, but I mean, I hear y'all. Excuse me, but that it just makes me feel so good, and it just transports me back to that time. Like it's just very like that's when the radio was high, you know, and I can think of what would be on the mix with it, like when JR started off, like, you know, these songs, like it just takes me back to just a very good time and a good feeling. When I was so excited. I mean, I still am excited about music, but like I was just so excited, and I was excited about the hip hop, and I was excited about the R&B, and then to hear this hard, you know, to hear that together, it was a time. It was a great time.
Yeah, and you know why too? I give that a lot too, because of that damn video. The video, I just was not a fan of the video, because again, it gave me, like, again, it felt like to me the label was trying to push them like a Soul to Soul since they was hot. That's where my mind was at. I'm like, but they was out before them. Like, nah, they started this. Like, they ain't gotta be like them, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, but you know how labels are, Grap. You know how they do. Like, okay, this is what's hot. We want you to be like this, and we want you to. And I'm like, that video, every time I watch, because I just watched the video maybe about an hour before we came on here, and I was like, this joint is giving me keep on moving, like, for real. Like, I was like, come on, y'all. Like,
well, Tara, you know how I feel about music videos anyway.
Oh yeah, you think those are the worst mediums?
There are exceptions, as there always are exceptions, but I hate it. Like, nostalgia wise, I'd love to go back and look at videos, but I think as a whole, it's just a very badly done medium for the most part. 90% of music videos it's I just hate it. But I love to watch it. You know, I grew up with videos, but it's just
being a fan of video music box and hot tracks, I can't do it. I love music videos. I know what you're saying though. They got
it's a love-hate thing. Like
I'm watching this right now,
and I'm gonna laugh.
And then there's some cringe-worthy joints from back in the day that you used to like. You look at them like yo, I like this. Oh my god!
All right.
And then there's some
like the quality is bad.
Like you know what video aged well for me, but I always was jealous of these two dudes that was in it. Saved the Overtime for me by
Gladys Knight in the Pits. Yes, God.
Yeah, my song right there.
The two dudes that would go behind her on the stairs and start popping.
Yeah,
I used to be jealous of them dudes. I'm better than them dudes, yo. I should be on them stairs behind Gladys getting big.
You could have ate that up, bro. You could have ate them up, yo.
Oh, I used to be jealous, but I love that video, yo.
Oh my God, me too. I just posted that.
Some, you know, it's all relative, like you said, love, hate, it's relative, you know what I mean? Some of them, it's like, oh God, like, turn that off, hurry up, turn it off quick, you know what I mean?
And then there's some back then, you were like, that's bad, even then.
Yeah.
Not knowing of what was gonna come.
I was in a video like that was bad even back then. Like, this dude named MC Rel and the House Rockers, he was a dude who tried to sound like Rakim. And he would even he had the, you know, Rakim had the MCM Dapper Dan dude. He had one of them same joints like Rakim and everything. Tried to sound like him.
Oh nah.
It called The Future or something, and we was like homeless people. It was filmed at. You remember where Wild Style was filmed at the amphitheater in New York?
Yes.
It was filmed down there, but by this time it was abandoned and jacked and. You know, it was supposed to look like a dystopian future, so it was filmed down there. It was freezing down there. I'll still be looking for myself in that video too. They're like, oh, good, I can't see me. Good. I'm glad I can't find me. Good. But I was there. I was in that video, and I was there.
Wow.
Rel in the House Rockers.
Nice.
Yeah, well, next time you get with Kill, ask him about MC Rel in the House Rockers.
Oh, boy.
He remembers a bunch out laughing. Like, oh, that's the fake Rakim ball. That's the Frank Rakim ball.
Yeah, he'll do that. Yeah.
I know, my man. I know, Kill. He gonna hit you.
Heck
Like,
yeah, he would.
that's the Frank Rakim ball. Yeah, that's that ball. Yeah,
that ball over there. Yeah.
You already know. Shout to Philly all day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. But yeah, that's so I've been in videos like that, so I understand. I totally get it. But yeah, that I didn't really check for that look how long. I mean, Don't Be a Fool video. I just hear the song and okay, that's loose in the video. But
right.
I mean, there are other videos where I check for him, but like, yeah, I ain't checked for. He should have did a video for Love Controversy Part 1. He should have did one for I Don't Need to Love.
Yeah.
Maybe Cheap Talk or Don't You Ever Try to Change.
Mm-hmm.
The records he should have did
videos. Still my favorite Loose Ends video is Gots to Be. You might not like it, Grab, but I love Slow Down. I'm sorry, I love that video because they grooving in that video, that break when they all just doing their little thing.
Give it up to Carl for the video too, and he had the early rocks going on and all of that.
Yep.
We had the early roots going on and everything. So brother Carl, you know what I mean? He was jamming.
I always love that break. I'm like, they get
the food on that was too sizes too big. The shoulders like whoop, whoop.
Heck yeah.
With the shoulder.
The crowds popping, it was crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did like that video. I did. But yeah, it was nice. I have very few loose end songs that I don't like. Very few that I don't like. And even the ones I don't like, it ain't like, turn that off, yo. Oh my God. It's like, all right, it's playing. I'll get through it. It's cool. I'll, get it. All right. Thank you. All right, cool. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, man, turn that off. I don't want to hear that one. Oh my God. This has no music like that.
That's a yes.
None.
Me and Elise got to say that a lot on here. We say that a lot when people
can fast forward it. I'm like, all right, I'll fast forward it. You know what I mean? But if I can't fast forward it, I'm not like, like that. It's like, okay, cool. But if I can fast forward to get to the jam I want to hear, I'm like, let me, you know what I mean? Let me go ahead and hurry up and get to my jam.
Right.
Yeah. That's how I do. I usually start this album off on Don't You Ever Try to Change.
Yes.
Yeah. But if I'm driving or something, I'll just let it rock.
Me too. I said the same thing.
Like if I'm like specifically want to hear something off the album, it's usually that song first.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll go to like Love Controversy, then I'll just bounce around the album.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Very, very dope album. Carl did his thizzle.
Yes, he did.
Long. It was released in the year of 1992, I believe. It's an incredible piece of work. Carlos McIntosh, salute to you, buddy. I'm just kidding. Big up Carl McIntosh.
Yes, indeed.
I was so blessed to meet him and be of his acquaintance and stuff and hang out with him. So.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorite producers. One of my favorite guys.
Yeah.
So we are to one of my favorite parts of the show. And that's our word song association. And it really is song association this time. Because I'm just going to name some great songs from the year 1990.
Okay.
And you just tell me first thing that comes to mind, or if you have a memory associated, or just your thoughts about the song.
Okay.
And we will start off with, we will start with Feels Good by Tony.
Fast Dancing.
Yes.
Lots of arms.
Yes.
Just partying. That's what remind me of just moving. That record remind me of just moving. And that's Tupac's brother rapping on there, Mo Preem.
Yes. Yeah.
Something like that. So shout out to Mo Preem. So yeah, that song just reminds me of moving. So moving is the word I associate with that. Dancing, grooving, moving, grooving. Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
In 1990, we had, and we kind of touched on this before we started the show with Ghetto Heaven, the Family Stand.
Ghetto Heaven, yeah. Remind me of London. It put me in the mind of London. I don't think they were from there, but it just put me in the mind of that whole vibration, the loose ends, the soul, and you know, even the name, the Family Stand. You know what I mean? Like it just fit right into that flow of things. So it just reminded me of London street soul, as my brother Connie Khan would call it. London street soul. So that's what it reminded me.
All right. Sensitivity, Ralph Tresvant.
Sing along. Yeah, sing along. Sing along, and that's the one you dance with the girl and you singing the lyrics. So you better know the lyrics. You know what I mean? Or you might look corny trying to sing it. Like only part you know, sensitivity. That's the only part you know though. Like that's not good. You need to know that song. You need to know the song. You know what I mean? So that ain't cool. You just come up with you just sitting there dancing with the chicken. That's the only part. Unless y'all drunk, then yeah, then
right.
Really trying to impress her. You want to like dance. I know you've been there. You know, you could like, you know, do the acapella. You know, what's the lip sync the joint?
Yeah. Make sure you mouthing the right words though.
In her mind, damn, this is Ralph singing to me. You know what I mean? Like, you want to make her feel like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what that reminds me. Sing along. You better know them lyrics.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
all right.
Oh, sorry.
Sing. It's like you said, sing along.
Yeah,
it's such an infectious song. It's like
it is. Top 5 for me.
Salute to Ralph, man. Salute to Ralph Tresvant.
And I love that my mama loves sensitivity. She loves it. She sang it. It's her cut right now. All right. Living in the Light, Karen Wheeler.
Ooh.
Living in the Light, Karen. I gotta remember how that goes again.
How to survive living in the light. How to survive living in the light.
Oh yeah. You know, that just takes me to London as well with that sound, you know, that voice and that.
Yeah.
That's why I stuck that one in there.
Yeah, Karen is like a staple, you know what I mean? Her voice. That's who I think was one of the people who sang in replace of Jane on one of those records. I think it was Karen Wheeler. They brought in Karen Wheeler. I think watch that Red Bull joint. I think
okay, I got you.
In that interview. How it was like a song she didn't want to sing it and stuff, so they brought in. And he tells you as an audience member, listen carefully to the song next time, and you'll hear the difference or something. I think
it's either
that Chucky Boo album, that 3 songs.
You talking about like Tomorrow and Mr. Bachelor and
yeah. It was Tomorrow that the person or the last one. You gotta have it on. I think it's one of them joints.
You just gotta have it all. God, I'm gonna listen to it because I ain't never paying no attention.
Yeah, check it out. I think it's one of those records, but he mentions it in that Red Bull interview.
Yo, I'm checking that out. Yes.
Yeah, he mentions it in there. So yeah, Karen is that staple sound, staple.
Yes.
London
vocal, yes.
Vocal. That's what I say, staple London soul vocal. That's what I call it. That's what it is.
And the last one I picked on purpose, and it is I Found Lovin', Jeff Redd.
Hometown Hero.
Good one.
That's 4 square, you know what I mean? All day. That just pulls up them fours. You just start pulling them fours.
Yeah.
We're lacing the world with the fours, you know. But yeah, that's hometown. That's hometown. He lived around the corner from my mother. My mother lived on one block is one. It's like 3 blocks that kind of were in a rolled out. Like you had Hillside, where myself, my brother have Troy, all of us stayed on Hillside. Then you have Brookside, that was the block over. Then you had Beechwood, that was the 3rd block over. That's the block that Jeff Red lived on. He lived on Beechwood. And our OG, me and Pete's OG, the dude who basically like introduced us to the Zulu tapes and all of that, and the Africa Bambaataa and all of that type of vibration. My man Eric James Pierce, they call him Eric J. They call him Eric J. My man DJ Eric J. He was the one who he was our OG. He lived on Beechwood, so we would go to Eric J's house and watch him play bass. He would cut, he would rap, he would DJ, he would make little tape edits of like beats and stuff. He would edit music. He was a genius, like a straight. Now that I look back at it, he was a genius. Like he had all the Zulu tapes, all the Park tapes. He had all of that stuff. You know what I mean? So wow. Jeff lived across the street from him. So like Mount Vernon was very rich, like in terms of talent and information and being able to be nurtured in music. You know what I mean? It was a rich place for that to happen. You know what I mean? So yes, shout out to Jeff Red, big up. He is now, I believe he ran for city council in Mount Vernon recently. Jeff Red.
Wow.
Yeah, he ran for city council in Mount Vernon. So I hope he won. So salute to Councilman Red.
Right.
Yeah, Jeff Red, man, OG, man. That's my big bro right there. Him and my sister went to high school together. So that's my big bro. So yeah, I found love. But his smash was
You called and told me.
You called and told me.
I have. Yep, I do have that. Yeah.
I love that song. I love that. Funky. He ripped that joint down too.
I found love, and see, I love that because I love when he did the Apollo performance on that, and you know who's singing background for him? Mary. So yeah,
and that's who that's her put on. That's her
put on. Yeah, that's why it's like. Jeff Red, thank you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got my favorite artist because of him. So
they picked her up and Puffy groomed her out a little bit, and then that was it.
That was it.
Yeah. So but yeah, Jeff Red represents 4 square miles. That's what the first thing that comes to mind when I hear that name and that name. Just when I hear that name, you could have said any song, but once I hear that name.
That's home. Yeah.
Big up to Money Earner Mount Vernon.
Yeah. You called and told me hit the next year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wasn't it part of didn't it hit be due to Strictly Business soundtrack?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a big part of the movie because it was in the club scene when they was basically the climax of the movie. So
right.
Yeah, we were fueling Uptown Records. Mount Vernon was fueling that place.
Absolutely.
Fully. I remember when Al B. Shaw brought Jodeci to the barbershop in Mount Vernon. I remember meeting them in there. He's like, yo, Grap, this is this Casey, this JoJo, this Devontae, this is Dalvin, yo. And I was like, yo, what's up, fellas? Yo, what up, fella? Yo. Shook their hands and everything. It was cool. It was right before we got on Uptown.
Because didn't Andre get them a place out there? And didn't Jodeci give them a place out there in Mount Vernon, or did he give them a place in the Bronx? I think it was one of them.
It was probably the Bronx.
Okay.
I know, but I remember them. The one time I remember meeting them was they came to the barbershop in Mount Vernon. Like everybody, that barbershop was a hub. You know what I mean? For the town. one of the hubs in town. You know what I mean? One of the town hubs. So it was a hub for like us, really heavily for our side, but people from all over would come to that barbershop when they needed to. It's the barbershop where they film Reminisce, where they film They Reminisce Over You. It was
okay.
That was they filmed Yo MTV Raps in there. When they followed Pete and CL around, they went to that barbershop. Yeah, but that barbershop was a hub. So everybody would come there. So Al get his hair cut there, you know what I mean? Scotty G, my man Scotty G used to cut his hair. The dude where he says, "Yo, Scott, it ain't hard to tell, right?" Yo, he's talking about my old barber, Scotty G. That's our old barber. Like he used to cut all of our hair. Me, Pete, Al, Hev. He used to cut all our hair. You know what I mean? And that's what he's talking about. So Scotty G worked at that barbershop. Mike Daddy, this dude named Mike Daddy, who ended up cutting Puff's hair, and he's in the documentary for Derek Jeter right now called The Captain on ESPN Plus. Mike Daddy's in it. Mike ended up cutting Derek Jeter's hair and ended up becoming good friends with Derek Jeter. He's about to run for the mayor of Mount Vernon. Mike Evans. Mike Daddy, he used to cut my brother's hair and cut Puff's hair, and he just started, he blew up, started cutting Timberland's hair and Derek Jeter and all of that. Started cutting celebrity haircuts and stuff like that. So
yeah, like you said, Mount Vernon is rich. Like that's rich.
Rich in history, man. I could go on for a while about the town. You know what I mean?
That's all right.
What it brings up, though. I'm sorry. Let me get back to what I was supposed to be talking about. All day. You see what happens, though. Yeah.
Yes.
I love where I'm from.
Yes, all right.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, we appreciate you as always.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Yes. And you always have the best energy. Like your energy is just it's a very soothing, very positive energy that I always love.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm always appreciative of being invited on. So I got to think of another album soon that I can talk about.
Oh yeah, we right here.
That about.
Yes.
Did y'all talk about? No, I ain't want to give it away. I'll talk to y'all offline.
Okay, yeah.
No ideas to nobody. I'm like, nah, don't steal my album.
Everybody is like that when they come on here. They be like, nah, forget it. When we gonna cut, and then
don't want to give away no album.
Yeah.
But if you have a chance, party people, I don't know if y'all can see it. This album is called Look How Long. It's by Loose Ends. It is an incredible album to listen to. Like JR said, it is a wine sipping album. So if you are a wine connoisseur and you are a person who likes to chill and relax on a cool Friday evening, maybe you have one of those little portable speakers you want to sit on your deck. Yo, this is that album. Trust when we tell you, this is that album. Very nice grooves. It got some moments where you might even want to get up and do a two-step. But for the most part, it's some good grooves, some great albums, great singing, great production. Straight up. Loose Ends, Look How Long. Love this album.
Ooh.
Yeah, man. Love that album. And also check out the bonus cut, Feel the Vibe.
Yes. It fits, y'all.
Catch that when you can. Yes, catch that.
I love it.
We know that's a clip. That's a clip. There it is.
You gotta catch that. I'm glad I had enough info to talk to y'all about them too. You know
please.
Yeah.
Please.
We wouldn't invite you if we didn't think you had something to give to folks.
Yeah, man. What?
But I thank y'all, man, for having me. Definitely appreciate it.
For sure.
Yeah,
so we to this Caribbean food and wine festival. And see what's good with that.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you. We appreciate all our listeners, viewers that always come and hang out with us.
Yeah.
Bring us some more cousins. This is family.
Yes.
Bring us some more cousins. Subscribe, like, share, tell a few people about us. So we can all learn and we can all have fun together.
Yes, yeah.
So we will catch y'all on the next Catch That.
Hey. Boy.